This is World of Tanks News. What came out yesterday was the vehicle yearbook, which I will open up in this tab. And what they did was they listed all of the new books that came out in 2019. Tanks like the AE Phase 1, the Gendron, the wheeled vehicles like the Panhard. There's about 30 or 40 tanks. And they actually have the timeline over here so you can see how all the tanks were released. This was a new tech tree branch, and this was a new tech tree branch over here. Some of them were repeats. It looks like we had 3 tech tree branches. So there were a few repeats, such as the Rheinmetall Scorpion, only a small handful, and the M41 Bulldog and the STRV. So there were a few repeats, but there were a lot of new tanks. I thought the tanks were really good. I was really happy about it. I wish I had like this VK 168. So that was a piece of news that came out yesterday. The Armored Patrol has a news story about the new maps that are coming out in 2020. It's going to be the Berlin map, and it will be Pearl River. I believe that there was another map that they mentioned, but I'm not sure. So Pearl River used to be in the game. It was one of my favorite maps. It had a great bridge battle. But then they changed it to make it easier. Wasn't so happy once they made it easier, because when they do that, everybody knows where to go, and then at the start of the battle, everyone rushes to the same battle point, and it's the same boring thing over and over again. The Berlin map, they say that it was during the Rampage mode, but I never remember playing on the Berlin map, and I certainly played Rampage. It was one of my favorite games. So let's see what we got here for the Daily Bounce. There was a developer Q&A. The only thing that was really interesting that came out of it was that they've announced 3 new branches that are coming in 2020. One is going to be the double barrel guns, which I believe are going to come out really soon, perhaps next week. And then we've got Italian heavy tanks, which will be autoloaders. And there's a third line that we don't know what it is. Someone did mention it might be Swedish wheeled vehicles, but I'm really not sure. Over here on Rita's status report, we also see that there is an announcement for the new maps. And you know what? I have my own blog also. My blog is more about streamers. It does have some announcements. So on the EU, they've already announced what they're going to be doing over New Year's. They're going to have ×3 crew XP, and it looks like that is going to be it. Okay, there is a better conversion rate, 1 gold, 35 EXP. We have 50% discount on consumables, crew training, skill reset, and 25% discount on crew specialization change. I don't play on the EU very often, but I'm looking for these discounts. I've been waiting for a while because I have a lot of crew that I want to work around. In terms of the NA server, we do have a holiday XP bonus, which was 5 times on the 24th, and then on the 26th went down to 4 times. But back on the 30th, we're going to be back up to 5 times. And I believe that there is some sort of a bonus where I'm getting an additional bonus even on the second victory. But it might be a limited run, and it might be something that I won from the holiday ops. I'm not sure, but it's something that I did notice. Okay, so we're going to look at the forums. I'm going to go to English-speaking community. One of the forum posts is about HE being fired at the grill. If you watch my live stream, I had a game where I hit a grill with HE dead on, and it did no damage. And these people are also complaining that they weren't able to damage it with HE. Person is talking about how he bought some loot boxes. I bought 75 loot boxes. I won almost every prize. So I have almost every prize except for one of the 3D skins. He did really well. He got 47,000 gold. I got 29. He got 3.5 silver. I got 7. He got 32 premium days. I got 55. He mentioned almost every premium tank, and then he got another 75 boxes with another 45,000 gold, 58 days of premium, and the remaining tanks. I already had the Progetto, so I did not win it, and there may have been one other tank, the Sexton, which I already have. And anybody who won this, I would say you lost. You didn't win. It's not a good tank. So he actually did. He worked out really well. Let's see what else we got here in the forums. People have been complaining about the anonymizer. I don't know why they're complaining. I had a person in the game harass me after the game. He mentioned specifically because I'm running the anonymizer. I personally think it's a great feature. I'm glad they have it. There's people talking about the 16 times zoom and the 25 times zoom. I was the one who contacted Wargaming and asked them to add this feature. I was playing on Siegfried Line, and I remember I was having trouble aiming at a tank, and I sent a message to Wargaming, and I said, could you do something about the zoom? I don't remember if it was limited to 8 times at the time, but then they added the 25 times zoom feature. It was a great addition. I've made like 50 suggestions to the game that were added to the game. A lot of my ideas were added. We got people talking about suiciding. There's people talking about they're complaining that other players are asking them to do something on the map, and they think that they know more, so they refuse to do what the other player is telling them to do. It usually has to do with scouting. Like someone is saying, please go scout out here. I remember there was a game I was in, Fisherman's Bay, and I was passive spotting from the middle. If you watch my recent replays, you know the position I'm talking about. And they wanted me to spot on the west side, but what they don't realize is I get way more spotting damage from that position. So QB changes his mind about the Manticore. He made a video where he was saying, you know what, I really think the Manticore might be a really great tank. And from watching it, he got 7,000 spotting damage. He got like 11,000 combined on highway. It seems like it's a very small tank. It doesn't have a lot of rounds. Someone's asking about the Patriot. I've heard people say that the Patriot was a really good tank. I do own one, and I never play it, but at one time it was a tank that I really enjoyed playing, but they released so many new tank trees. Now that we've got the Italian medium tanks, I really don't play that class of tank anymore. How to maximize your shards. What I discovered in terms of shards is that you want to save them for the end if you're trying to find shards for your album. Try to get as many randomly as possible, and then on the last day, take all of your ornaments, even the ones that are already in your camp, break everything, and go through. Use the random feature for the tier 5s. Get as many as you can, and then finally end up with the feature to use the non-duplicator. Someone is saying that there's a single shot firing delay with the Object 703 double-barreled gun. If you watch me play, you'll see I make a comment where I thought that it wasn't firing a single shot, and apparently there's some sort of a delay that is a feature that's required for double-barreled guns. People were complaining about the advent calendar because on the 26th you could not use in-game gold. Perhaps they did it because they knew a lot of people had gold from loot boxes, but that's one of the things that people were talking about. People are complaining about getting lit on fire a lot, and I'm not surprised if this is true. They're claiming that perhaps there's a new aimbot going around, and I kind of agree. There was a tank that ammo racked me. I repaired. He ammo racked me again. I repaired. He ammo racked me again, and I was watching him because I'm watching the other player play, and it looked like it was just too easy. It's like his tank was trained on my ammo rack. He wasn't even moving. And that's not normal gameplay, that you have a tank in front of you that's perfectly still, not moving, and he ammo racks you 3 times. And the third time I couldn't repair my ammo rack. I only go in with 2 repair kits. So then we had prizes from Santa Mouse. There were some streamers that were giving away gifts for Christmas. I believe that there was a streamer who gave away 100 tanks. As someone is asking about high caliber, he did, I think 1,300 damage in the game, and the number one player did around 1,000 more damage. However, he got the number two player got high caliber. If you hit an ally, you do not get high caliber. So it's possible that the guy who got number one hit one of the allies. Just goofing around at the beginning of the game is what he's reporting. So he doesn't get the high caliber award, and it goes to the second player on the team. In terms of discounts, I've been waiting for discounts on the NA server for the month of December. Today is the 27th. I did not see any discounts. I was a little bit disappointed about that, and I'm still waiting. If you watch me stream, you'll know that I talk about waiting for the discounts. So we're going to look at this. This guy is claiming that there's a position that changed on Ruinberg. Over here, there's a big mound, and over here, he says it was flattened. It actually looks like maybe it was. And there's a new sniping position. So I'm going to explain what happened. This road is crooked. It bends over here. So what happens is the north team has an advantage. They could park anywhere over here and just snipe down this road. The south team really can't do it unless they get into these bushes. So what they did was they added this sniping position where the south team could snipe at the north team to prevent you from sniping down the road, and they apparently removed the mound over here. So that's one of the changes they made to the map. I was really disappointed because I loved sniping down the road. It was what I set out to do every game. Okay, someone is asking for a penalty if a tank is AFK. I strongly disagree with this. I'm AFK all the time. AFK is not fun. It's not fun when you're struggling to try and get back in the game. And there's no reason why somebody should be banned because he couldn't get in the game because usually of a network error or a game crash. There's some people talking about recruiting special crew members. Apparently, some of them can only be commander. So if you accidentally recruit it as a driver, you can still recruit it as a driver, but then you get a crew skill such as Sixth Sense that you can't use. So you have to send a support ticket in order to have them fix it. Someone is claiming that his shots are not penetrating. We got a complaint over here about someone buying boxes and getting no tanks. When I bought boxes last year, I was somewhat disappointed. I didn't really win anything. I did get gold, but I didn't win all the other. Oh, actually, you know what? I do have some of the prizes, like the IS-3A. Perhaps I did win it in the boxes, but I remember being a little bit disappointed that I didn't win a lot of the prizes. This year, I was really happy. Let's see what we got going on in the EU forums. EU forms are laid out a little bit differently. It's not identical. Some of it obviously should be linked together. You notice they have a separate Frontlines forum. We got someone complaining about aim bots. Why I hate the block 2 times HP for German and Japanese. It's so easy. It's easy to do. It's not difficult. Someone's asking to bring back team damage. There's people that don't like the EBR. It's ruining the game. I really don't think so. It's definitely changing the game. You can't, as me being a light tank spotter, it's really made it difficult to do light tank spotting. And I'm not that crazy about playing the EBR, but I don't think that the tank should be nerfed. I mean, people should be allowed to play. It's making the game for hit and run. It's changing the game, and it's something that I've been working on for a long time is hit and run. So I'm looking forward to playing these tanks at some point in the future. Someone is complaining about the EBR stopping when you enter or exit the boost mode. I believe that this is the way it's supposed to function. When you're driving a wheeled vehicle and you switch between the cruise mode and the normal and the high speed mode, whichever the two modes are, the vehicle, I believe, slows down and comes to a stop. We've got a Santa crew member. On Christmas, everyone was awarded a Santa crew member. I believe he has 1 or 2 zero skill BIA and a perk. What else we got here? Italian tech tree post-war. So someone made an Italian tech tree. What do we got here? Present my own finished Italian tech tree with medium and tank destroyer. So it looks like he's got a line of tank destroyers, and I would say they look original. It's really hard to tell what this is. Maybe these are SPGs over here? No, it's not an SPG. It's hard to tell what they are. These, I'm guessing, are tank destroyer. No, wait. These are tank destroyers. Okay, so if you want to see an Italian tech tree, check out the post, Finished Italian Tech Tree in the EU server. The IS-6 versus the 112. The 112 used to be the worst Tier 8 tank of that class, but then they went and buffed everything, so it kind of changes everything. The IS-6 used to be a great tank, but now it's kind of an underperforming tank. It's really not that great anymore. So then we got the Mauerbrecher and the VK. I don't know which one is better, and I don't believe I've played either. I've played the Tier 8 that comes before the Mauschen. It's a wonderful tank. I hated the fact that I had to sell it. I really enjoyed playing it. There's a rumor going around that the Waffenträger E100 is going to be on the black market. I believe that it's an autoloader, and it aims so fast. If you've played the STRV, you know what I'm talking about. This is an overpowered tank. So there's a black market that should be coming up where you're going to be able to buy tanks for silver and get other discounts for silver. People complaining about Artie going after people. Nothing new. Which forum members have you seen in random battle? Look at that, 885 pages. New meta for scouting. I want to check this out because I'm interested in scouting. What do we got here? Oh, a grill with 2K spotting. I mean, that's so simple. You just use Binox. I spot with every tank. There's really nothing new. Forum lag. Okay, so that's a general overview of the World of Tanks news. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.